YouTube. I'm Jackie. I'm an artist. I make art for a living. I'm an illustrator, letterer, sometimes animator, and yeah, I get to make art for fun and for money. Anyways, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is my very first video, so I very much do not know what I'm doing, but that's kind of like the theme of my life. I don't know what I'm doing, but like I do it anyway. So like here we are. Let me introduce you to my cat, Fern. This is Fern. He is the absolute light of my life. I'm obsessed with him. Even though he's kind of a pill sometimes. Like, I don't think I've gotten a full night of sleep since I got him. But anyways, this is my little baby. You'll be seeing a lot more of this guy. So for my very first video, I think I'm just gonna take you guys through, the process of making a piece for my Instagram. Now that like freelance work has slowed down a bit, it's been like crazy all year, but it's slowed down now in the winter, so now I have more time to focus on personal work. So my main focus for a long time was like just lettering, but I've branched out into illustration and animation like the past year, and it's been super fun to explore that. So yeah, I'm gonna take you guys through my process, just like, watch how I create some custom lettering, some like cute little illustrations, and then just like really bring it to life with some simple animations at the end. So I think that'll be really fun. It's just gonna be like a chill art vlog, like grab your water, grab your drink, or if you're working or whatever, just want to have me on in the background, like that's cool too. Yeah, or you can just like work together. It'll be fun. It'll be great. So today I'm going to be creating a piece about my favorite art making essentials. So stuff like my iPad, my headphones, favorite software programs like Adobe Illustrator and After Effects. And I'm going to be starting with the lettering first. I wanted to make something that felt really kind of like funky and fun and just kind of weird, but still really cohesive and cute. One thing I use to help keep my lettering looking nice and uniform is guides. I use guides on the exterior and interior of the letter form, on the top and bottom, usually horizontal guides. Sometimes I use vertical diagonal guides like the one I'm doing here. That helps me a lot when I want both strokes to be at the same angle and to be the same width and height, if that makes sense. Another thing I use to help me keep the stroke widths uniform is circles. So I use these little circles to make sure that my stroke widths are all kind of uniform and cohesive. You want the letter forms to all look like they're a family, like they're related to each other. You don't want one to be, the odd one out, and I like keeping the stroke widths similar to do that. Anyway, here I couldn't decide what I wanted my M's to look like, so I went back into Procreate and started sketching out ideas. Sometimes I don't have my ideal fully fleshed out, or once I get into the vectoring stage, I don't actually like how it's looking, so I have to go back to the drawing board and come up with some new ideas. Another tip I have for you guys is using existing letters to make new ones. So right here, I'm using the A to kind of serve as a guide for an M. Still kind of figuring out, it takes some time to get the letter just right, but yeah, here I am just messing around with the M and trying to get it just right. raise your hand if you like doing your nails at your desk. I don't do my nails very often, but it's kind of fun. If I have like a little break in between work, I just do my nails, and since I play bass, I have to keep them super short, so yeah, it's just kind of like a fun little break. And here's the final lettering. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's super cute. Now it's time to move on to illustration. So for the illustrations, I just make all of them in Illustrator, just like I did with the lettering. I know a lot of people are intimidated by Illustrator, and especially the pen tool. Once you master the pen tool, you will feel so powerful. You can make anything. I love Illustrator and I love the pen tool. I use it for literally everything. So highly recommend if you're a beginner or if you feel intimidated by it, just go for it. Now that the illustrations are done, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the animation part of this process. So before I can do anything in After Effects, I have to take my work into Illustrator on my desktop and move everything that's going to be animated into its own separate layer. It's kind of a pain when you have a lot of different elements that you want to animate, but that's just the way it is. It's probably a lot easier to just work in layers as you go, which I do a lot of the time, but for this particular one, my layers just got a little out of control, so I'm just gonna take some time to clean them up before I go into After Effects. If anyone has any tips on how to streamline your process between Illustrator and After Effects, I'm all ears. So before I do anything, I like organizing my layers by color. So all the sparkles I'm animating are yellow, and that helps me keep track of what I'm animating because there's so many layers. I'm animating the sparkles first because they're the easiest and they're just going to be repeating throughout the whole animation. All I do is just give it a little blinking effect with the scale property, and then I add a loop out expression so that it just loops throughout the entire animation. I also staggered them so they're not all blinking at the same time, so it gives a nice kind of sparkling blinking effect. After finishing up the sparkles, I moved on to animating the illustrations. I wanted to give these a really kind of floaty, bouncy effect to make them seem like they're just kind of floating in space. I wasn't really sure how to achieve that at first. I started out with just the position property, but that wasn't really giving me what I wanted. I wanted there to be like a little more kind of like movement and bounce to it. So I used this wiggle expression and just adjusted some of the properties until I got the effect I wanted, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And here's the final animation. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Animating stuff like this is kind of tricky because I want to animate lots of different elements, but I don't want it to be overwhelming and like to the point where you don't even know where to look. Thankfully, I don't think that's the case with this animation, and yeah, overall I'm super happy with how it came out. Hey guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun making this. I'm not sure what my YouTube posting schedule is going to be like, but if you want to stay up to date, you can follow me on my Instagram at Jackie Rivera, or you can also follow me on TikTok at Hey Jackie Rivera. But anyway, this was super fun. Can't wait to do it again. I'll see you next time.